current rate, it will probably end up being after winter, because we don't have anything booked yet for it. So hope all that pavement work will be done before we get to this. Master project review meetings with the city. I've attended multiple, and I've been able to address Part 77 issues with a few that are fairly significant, and could potentially impact the airport. One of those is for a project that will potentially have an agenda item at the next board meeting that is on airport. The developer decided to go through the master project review process early because they wanted to make sure that it would be compatible use with the airport. And it turns out it is, so they will be moving forward, and that is going to trigger a bid process because it's going to be for commercial use. So hopefully next meeting we'll see a resolution and notice to bid on the agenda for that portion. We've been working with Arrowhead Tenant to complete the utilities required for the project. That's what Harlow was just referring to. NV Energy and Southwest Gas are going to be requesting an easement to put in the utilities across Taxiway Bravo. And Wood Rogers has approved their plans, so everything will be done according to FAA regulations and advisory circulars. And we've been working with the city on updating Title 19 with changes that were approved by the Carson City Airport Authority. And we've already started that process, so we should be through that by early November. And then we'll be able to move forward with a permit request for through the fence east of Bravo. The fuel flowage numbers are here. Fuel flowage was up 21% over last year. And again, we see operations were down about 20% from last year. Again, that's showing there are larger aircraft using the airport. And some detailed information about the ADSB numbers are below, and I'm available for any questions.
Any questions?
Excuse me. Whatever happened to that Stellar 7460? Are we still waiting for that? Did that get approved?
It's been approved. They're going to start construction on that fuel farm soon. The fire actually caused some delays with the construction company that's going to be working on that on other projects. I would have expected that to have started already, actually, if it wasn't for the fire. So it'll be very soon. Next couple of weeks, we'll start seeing some construction for the fuel farm. Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking, and we're in range now on the run, at least the planning for the runway extension. Could you just comment? We're in the middle. Just had meetings today at ClickBond about our own campus master planning program, and I'm just curious if that puts the interest in the straightening out of taxiway, whether you want to call it Charlie or Delta, as it goes around our parking lot corner. Does that kind of put that in range now for conversation?
The first portion of the runway extension project is going to be a feasibility study and 25% design. I think the results of that will show us what the actual construction will look like. So I think we're quite a ways from knowing exactly what that's going to look like. And during that portion, we will be figuring those items out. So
Gotcha.
Originally, that feasibility study was not a part of the planning process, but there's some clear issues that need to be worked out. We need some better forecasting. We need to be able to demonstrate the limitations with our displaced thresholds. The FAA does not want to approve any displaced thresholds at this time. And that's one of the big hurdles that we have with this runway extension, because we have terrain obstructions that make it to where the displaced thresholds are required. If we get approval for the feasibility study, all of these details will be worked out. So we don't have all of that information just yet. It's still a little ways out.
Okay. Just trying to stay on top of coordination.
Yeah, most likely that will end up being a part of the project one way or another. So it definitely doesn't hurt to start planning.
Are we talking about paved shoulders?
Yes, the drainage project is paved shoulders. It's a 10-foot paved shoulder off each end.
What would the weight-bearing capacity of those shoulders be?
They will be built to the AC standards. Wood Rogers, you may be able to comment more on that.
Yeah, so even we're doing it for drainage purposes, but they would be constructed, like Corey mentioned, per the AC. So the AC for pavement bearing, it's basically your largest or most critical aircraft in your from the ALP for one departure per year. So you basically design it for that large aircraft to depart and not sink in or damage.
What happens to the runway lights? Do they get moved?
They'll stay in the same location.
Correct.
So if anybody ventures onto the paved shoulder, they're going to have an interesting time.
Well, it should be safer than it is now, but they would go through some lights.
Thank you.
That's why they're frangible.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for the airport manager? If not, we're going to move on to legal counsel's report.
I have nothing new to report. Thank you.
Our treasurer is not with us tonight, so we'll forego his report until next month. Any comments or reports from authority members at this time? None. Very good. Any public comment before we adjourn? No? Okay. We don't have any agenda items at this point that have been solidified yet, so we have nothing to announce for next meeting yet, but we have several that'll come up in the next 3 weeks. So with that, I move to adjourn. Thank you.